SGA is going to win the MVP in the NBA this year, according to The Athletic. Woo! Okay, cool. Let's get into this because The Athletic, every year, I think, they do an anonymous NBA players poll where they ask the NBA players who they think deserves the MVP. And it's come up with some mad questions because this year has to be one of the tightest MVP races I think I've ever seen. I've been following NBA for 20 years now, and over 20 years, I'd say. And usually there's always two people like in for the MVP race. Sometimes there's just a unanimous one, obviously, but generally there's like two people vying for it, whatever. This year is the first year where I'm like, wow, like you could make a solid argument for every single one of them. You got SGA, who has got some of the most efficient numbers you have seen ever in terms of scoring, like insane. You got Luka Doncic, who is putting up 40s like it's nothing. Like he is literally putting up 40-point games at will. You've got Jokic, who is a stats freak. His plus minus is insane. And he has done this consistently for the last few years. People even say like the MVP that Joel Embiid won, they say that probably should have gone to Jokic. I'm biased because I'm a Sixers fan, but honestly, like you could have made that argument and he could have won loads in a row on that basis. And then you've got who I think I want. Well, my favorite for the MVP is Victor Wembanyama. Now, this guy, look, I'm not going to say I've been following him since he was a kid. I didn't. I followed him when there was rumors about him, you know, being part of the draft. So when he was like 17 or whatnot, I was like, or 16, 17, I was like, yo, this guy's going to be sick. I was like, the difference with him is for his size, he's so agile. Usually we've seen people like Yao Ming and stuff in the past who are huge, but they have no agility. And this year, or even playing on a minutes restriction, he has dominated it, absolutely dominated it. But yeah, essentially, The Athletic, who, you know, trusted journalists in the space, they did this poll. They asked the NBA players anonymously who they think deserves the MVP. Obviously, the overall MVP is not decided by them. It's decided by journalists. But overwhelmingly, the leader was SGA with 39% of the votes. Second was Jokic with 21.4% of the votes. And then it gets a bit murky because now you're expecting the other two to come in behind. But no, Jaylen Brown from the Celtics came in with 8.2% of the vote, which put him in third. And then Cade Cunningham, who has had an amazing season for the Pistons, came in fourth with 8.2%. Then Doncic came in 8.2% as well. So they're effectively tied third. So you've got five players there, and you've not even mentioned Wembanyama, who comes in sixth with 5% of the vote. And the thing is, right, when you're playing against people, you have a different perspective. I'm a big lover of football, right? That's my main sport. And one person I'm going to relate this to is Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes throughout his career was not seen as this. I think he wasn't seen as someone who was elite, like the world's best in his position. However, later down the line, when stories came out about Paul Scholes, about what other players thought of him, people then started to be like, oh crap, he was elite. And even when Pep Guardiola said there's only one player he would love to sign for his Barcelona team, and it would be Paul Scholes. Apparently, David Beckham said when he first went to Real Madrid, the first thing Zinedine Zidane asked him was, what's Paul Scholes like in training? Because everyone appreciated Paul Scholes from a player's point of view. But I think in the early 2000s, Paul Scholes didn't get the plaudits from fans. And it might be something similar here, where SGA is so rated by the opposition. But I also think it might be something to do with Wembanyama's confidence. And I really rate it. I love players like this. He's come out trying to defend his MVP credentials, tell you why he should be MVP. I love that. That is something that I wish more people would do when they're in that position where they are good enough. It's why I loved Floyd Mayweather in boxing. Everyone says he's so cocky, but for me, if you can back it up, be as cocky as you want. Same with Wemby. And I don't know if that goes against him. I don't know if players are thinking, oh, he's a cocky blah, so-and-so. I think he comes across super nice and he knows what he's good at. There's nothing wrong was stating that. Whereas people like SGA, I feel is a bit more, humble and whatnot. And same with Jokic as well. Doncic, I think he's in the mold of maybe being slightly more cocky. And that's it. I find that might be a factor. Look, I'm just putting out suggestions here. But if this is anything to go by, that means SGA is going to win this MVP. And look, you can't say he doesn't deserve it, but I think for this season, especially defensively, what Wemby's done, he's in on both ends of the floor under a minutes restriction. I personally think he should get the regular season MVP. That's just my opinion. But if we actually look at this same poll that Athletic did in 2025 and 2024, in 2025, SGA came out on top. And SGA ended up eventually winning the MVP as well. In 2024, Nikola Jokic came out on top. And he ended up winning the MVP for that year. So this could be used as a good indicator on who wins it. Personally, I just think it would be a travesty to not at least even have Wemby in the top 3 is insane to me. Like, to have him 6th where he's now, yeah, to put Jaylen Brown and Kay Cunningham ahead of him this year is insane. Kay Cunningham has had an amazing season, but nah, man, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Victor Wembanyama is the face of the NBA. He is going to be the torchbearer for the NBA post, I'd say, because Steph's kind of come to the end of it. I'd feel like, I'd say the last 10 years has been Steph, really. 10 years prior to that, it was LeBron. 10 years prior to that, Kobe. 10 years prior to that, Jordan. I feel like that's kind of how it's gone. And I feel like for the next 10 years, it's Wemby. But yeah, it's just insane to me. It's insane. But let's see what happens. To be honest, I'm just looking forward to the play-ins getting started. Like, we're at the end of regular season now. There's one more game left. Everything's been decided already. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. People that have missed out. Well, not crazy, really. I think it was kind of given. But, like, the Bucks and stuff with all that drama with Giannis. I'm surprised my team made it in. I'll be real. We've been trash all season, the Sixers. I think personally we need to get rid of Embiid, but that's a story for another time. It's kind of annoying, man, because I was banking on Embiid to really kick on after his MVP season, but it just hasn't happened. But anyway, if you're liking this content, please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. Like I said, I cover all sports here that I enjoy: football, NBA, tennis, cricket, boxing, pretty much any. I'll be real, pretty much any sport apart from rugby and all the other American sports apart from NBA. But if you are liking this content, please let me know. Please let me know what you want to see. I am going to be doing something football related for the World Cup as well. So keep it locked and keep subscribing. But yeah, peace.